Hey everybody, Danny Mott here. Thanks for joining us. This week we're going to talk about your trail elbow and why it is so important to get it right through the impact area to improve your strike and your power. It's one of the key factors to getting a lot of compression through that golf ball and generating a lot of speed. Many of my clients over the past few weeks, if not months, have been asking me to create a video on this particular impact. They see so many players in the world of golf, the big hitters in the world, getting into this position. But whenever they see themselves through impact, they often find themselves doing stuff like this, where the trail arm here or elbow is starting to straighten too early, they get into this position here, etc. And they're losing a lot of power. And what they want to be able to do is they want to get into a much stronger impact position so they can get that extra few yards and obviously strike as well. We're going to cover how you go about doing this in your swing, but it's a little trick. You already know how to do this. I'm going to help you discover how in a second. So before we do, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your first videos, consider subscribing. I release content like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. So, trail elbow. How do you go about trying to get this lovely position here where you get which aids strike and power through the impact areas? So why it is important? Imagine this. If we're going to do a punch, it's kind of a crude example, but if we're going to punch, if I'm going to punch towards you, if I've extended my arm there, have I got much power left? There's not much left, is there? Okay. So what you're trying to do is there needs to be a soft flex, so you're punching through the target. Look at it from this angle. So if I'm punching through, my arm's extended, there's not a lot left to give. Yeah, but if the target's here and I'm kind of going through it, it becomes far more powerful. That's the kind of impact we need through that hitting area. Question is, how do you go about achieving it? Well, I've been doing thousands of lessons and I often do this exercise, and not one single person every single person can do this. Every single person gets their trail elbow working perfectly well when they do this. So when they're throwing a ball, no matter whether you're an average thrower, poor thrower, good thrower, every single person gets their trail elbow in position through impact to fire. So if that's the case, why don't they do it during the golf swing? It's very straightforward. If you don't do this through the golf swing and you know you can actually do it fantastically well when you're throwing, it's just simply because you're unaware of what's interfering with this natural motion. So things that crop up, for instance, when people are throwing is, look, there's an energy we're going through to the target, you know. When the ball's there, we tend to get stuck around this area, right? There's a concern of whether we're going to strike the ball or not. So people, rather than flow through, they kind of start to stop. And as they stop, this right arm or trail arm starts to kind of extend way too early. So what I would suggest you do, and one of the best ways to work on this, is very straightforward. What I want you to do is just practice on a driving range throwing some balls like this. Just get a sensation of throw. And I would do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. When you throw, just be aware of this. Get yourself roughly into a golfing action, so you're a bit more kind of bent towards the ground, and you're not throwing like this, you're throwing down here, almost like you're skimming a stone, all right? Now, as you're doing this, you might start off by going, well, I can't really feel too much different. This is already normal. But what you do is you just keep throwing backwards and forwards. What you'll also know with a throwing action is your legs are involved. So when you are throwing, it's not just a case of going. There's an energy to this motion as you're throwing. Then grab your golf club. Tricked on the ground, a lot of mud on there, lovely. Okay, then grab your golf club. And what we want to do is just imagine doing the same thing. Getting a sensation of throw. Now the feedback that I get with a lot of my clients when they try this for the first time is it feels like they're really flowing much more towards the target. They're letting go of the concern of whether they're going to strike the ball. In fact, that's one of the prerequisites for this, is that you don't care initially where the ball goes because you need to get the sensation of this flowing motion. You want to get a ball turf strike. Well, one of the ways you get a ball turf strike is get the ball, then the turf, look where the body's going. It's going this direction. it isn't hanging back here. Look at the difference in this. This is a trail arm extending. What's happened to my body? It's staying still. Watch the throw. Completely different. Look at how everything starts to activate. So your job now is to discover how you do it. What gets in the way of your throwing action when you play? And it is different for everybody. So I don't know what it is for you, but by you throwing balls, get a feeling of what gets in the way of this motion. Now let's have a look at this. Here's my throw. Here's people standing a bit stiller. Yeah, concern, head down, a lot of big thing. So I often get people initially, watch this, I'm going to actually get my head doing this for a second. So I'm actually going to get my head looking up. I can still rip it from there as I throw through that shot, all right? So my head is miles up, so I want to debunk some of these myths of you've got to keep your head dead still. For most people, I coach quite a few senior golfers and they just don't have the flexibility, for instance, in their neck. If they keep their head too still, they can't even move their body. So allowing the head to flow helps to keep that trail elbow in position so we can extend beautifully and generate that power through the shot. Let's have another example of that. So here I am. I'm going to throw, imagine throwing this club down the fairway. I'm even going to let my head go. Watch this. And it just creates much more natural flow. Do you know what? It's as simple as that. But I know some of you out there are going to be left. So I'm swinging right-handed here. You might be, in a sense, left-handed, but swinging right-handed, or vice versa. Well, in that case, you could use a different image. Rather than, in a sense, throwing, you could imagine almost chopping the tree. Look at this here. If I chop a tree, do I chop it and release the axe here? No. I chop this way. Yeah, look at the trail elbow there. And you get the sensation now of just chopping, but chopping through the motion. Let's have another look at this. So here we are, chop through the motion. There's different averages. So I like the chopping action for somebody who's maybe left-handed playing right-handed golf, but the throwing action is the simplest way for you to get the trail elbow. It is, without fail, you already do this. So the key is to figure out how you do it naturally. Please don't do what so many people do, which is, oh, I've got to get my right elbow stuck in here. These are all artificial moves. They just don't work. To make a golf swing and create your own golf swing, we've got to get a natural flow. And if you're stuck at the top of your swing and thinking, right, I've got to get the elbow bent in here and all that kind of stuff, this is just weird. You know, it just doesn't work, does it? Think about it. If I'm going to stick it in here, what about everything else? We want the right elbow in as a natural full motion. So it's not just one element, it's a full motion swing that creates that sensation. So let's just summarize. Elbow, why is it important? It generates power through the shot. If you extend too early, we lose your power. Keep the trail elbow in and we generate compression and strike. Common problems. We see people extending early. Why? Well, you've got to figure this out for yourself. What gets in the way of your throwing action? What is it? It's different things for different people. Some people are so concerned about where the ball's going to go, they don't move, so they extend way too early. Some people are, they're just literally almost, again, too tense. They don't let go of the golf club. Yeah, when you throw, what happens? We let go here. We're throwing this way. There are many reasons. The great thing is let your throwing action be your coach. It's going to tell you how to do it. Throw some balls. Try to mimic the action. Okay. I love this one. The great thing about it is that, you know, it's not me teaching you now and telling you how to do this. You already can do this. You just got to figure out what gets in the way of your throwing action so you can start swinging and improving your golf swing. I hope you really enjoyed this. It's a really simple one. It's great fun. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a few of your friends. And of course, If you've got any questions over the coming days, please leave them in the comments box below. As you know, I answer them every single day. And of course, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your first videos, come along and join the community. But until next week, have a great golfing week.